Alright, so here we are, how to easily get 6 billion with youmu. So this is for solo youmu on lunatic scoring, and right at the start we want to start shooting unfocused, so we get our gauge to minus 50 before we start. Now as we clear these fairies on the left, we have to be careful not to have any shots go to the right, because that will kill these familiars, and we want both of them alive. Now as we circle around, we go here, we can start holding focus and graze some of these bullets that are aimed at us, and we want to position ourselves around, you want to position yourself around this height, because this is low enough so you don't prevent this fairy from spawning bullets, and this is high enough so you don't kill the familiar that is gonna be below you when you want to kill this fairy. And we're gonna be killing this fairy by the time this familiar is right on top of the other fairy that is gonna spawn here. So you need to be at the specific height, and the timing is you just watch this as it overlaps with the next fairy. So the next fairy is gonna spawn a bunch of bullets once it comes, and we want to cancel them all as they spawn, because that gives double time orbs. Alright, and once all the bullets of that upper fairy are cancelled, you want to kill that fairy as it spawns its next bullet, which this replay failed to do, but it's okay, it doesn't lose that much time. After that you want to kill all these guys. Now the next two fairies are the same, and you roughly want to kill them at this timing. So you can either get so that these guys get cancelled, these guys right here. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I'm not sure actually which one gives more time, but as long as you're like above 600 here, you're fine. Now for the next part you want to clear all the small fry from up here, and put both of your shots on this lane so you kill the incoming fairy. Now you go up here and then you dash all the way over here. So once you're over here, you will the fairy will shoot towards you, and then you will, instead of going to the left of the bullet from here, you will go to the right, and then you will slowly go over here, and the fairy is gonna be at this point, and at this point you can cancel it. So this is the cancel timing. As you can see, the bullets from the previous wave got cancelled, and the bullets from the wave that has just spawned also got cancelled. And once again, you do not go too close to the fairy, or this last bunch of bullets won't spawn, because if you're on top of the fairy, it won't spawn bullets. And as you kill that, you can go directly down right to get into position to kill these two. And for these two, you just keep holding shot. Simple. Once you collect this, you have 3 waves of small fry. Now, to kill all, you want to kill as many furbolgs before you go below the POC line. And you also want to constantly tap shift so you collect all the items from these furbolgs. You go into this area and then you drop down into the center, while Myon, your option, this guy, is shooting towards this one, and it will get the cancel for this one at the best timing. It's not a hard window. This one, we leave this one alive. If you don't keep collecting items from the furbolgs until the very last minute, you will risk dropping some items. So now you can graze these bullets, and after those you can go up and collect all the items. Tap shift to vacuum all the items. Now we use this fairy to cancel the first rice bullets of the mid boss. But first we need to go to the ceiling and keep holding up, so our option, the Myon, is aimed directly downwards. So here I'm still holding up, so the Myon is aiming downwards. Now we can hold focus while we do this, and we will need to move towards the right to dodge these aimed bullets. And I don't know how to explain the timing, you just have to know it, I guess. Start shooting somewhere around here, and that will kill all the blue bullets. While you're making this arc downwards, you can graze some of these, but unfortunately this green bullet was in the way here, so I didn't do that. Now, this short next section, you can follow this same thing for graze. Now, to finish this off, you need to bring it as close to 0 HP as possible. And now the most important part is that you get a +8, meaning that you don't destroy any familiars and you hit Wriggle directly. Now, as solo youmu, you cannot ignore familiars, so this task is actually quite hard. As you can see, the outer are rotating in this direction and these guys are going in this direction. So you can find your own timing or just copy mine. But yeah, that was +8. Now for the mid spell, you want to deal as much damage at all times as possible. Now she becomes vulnerable after she moves to the left for the first time, and you want to make her move left for the first time. And during the whole thing, you need to make sure that your Myon is always aiming upwards. You can use bottom dragging and moving only while focused. And you need to make sure that your shot is always on top of Wriggle. This will get you the fastest cancel, but it also gives you, it automatically times it so that you get the best cancel, because the best cancel is right after she spawns familiars. So you make her move left first, then you make your move right. I lost the gauge here. As you can see, it's -28, which is unfortunate. Don't do that. Now you make her move right. You kind of need to move before her so that by the time your shots get to her, they land right on top of her. Do not lag behind. And you make her move right again, and here she will get cancelled. And as you can see, just after she spawned familiars, you cancel the spell. Okay. Now you go up and aim your Myon to the left and start shooting when you finish collecting all the time orbs. So let me rewind. Let's see that shot timing. After all the time orbs from finishing this spell arrive to your position, you start shooting. Now. And that should get you the +4 on this one. I got +3 because I messed up. Now this one is +2. It's the same as the as some fairies on the pre-mid boss part. As you finish these, you want to go high up on the screen, because these small fry fairies, they descend up to depending on your vertical position. So if you're below the screen, these fairies will like go up here, down here. But if you're all the way up here, they will only reach like up here. That's how they work. So you want to clear like half of them and then stop shooting, because you want to cancel this one. This one is the same as the previous one. So you get that +2. Now this is the +4 one. I got +2 because I messed up. Now for the last part, you want to be here and have Myon destroy fairies on this side, and then start moving towards the right, and these two fairies come at the same time, but you want to start shooting this one before you start shooting this one. And the setup you have is that currently Myon is shooting exactly to the left, horizontally, and you press right to get under this one. You are not allowed to be under this one as it's coming down. You need to kind of a very brief moment later get under it, and then a brief moment later you tap down to make Myon target this one. And if you do it correctly, you will get a +4 on both of them, but this replay messes up both of them. So, but it's around the same timing here. Also, the small fairies can mess up your timing, because sometimes they body block the shots and sometimes they don't, which is very annoying. And that's the end of the stage section. You can maximally get 7.5k, but anything above 6k is good. So for Wriggle first none, I go directly under Wriggle, and she doesn't have a hitbox during the dialogue, so she's not scary. And just keep on shooting while you do this grace. First, nothing really to explain, just follow my steps, and then you destroy all the familiars, then repeat the first grace. I kind of chickened out of grazing the first wave, the first part of the second wave, because that one is the hardest to do. Now for the last one, these familiars, they can despawn if you're too late, and also they spawn a bunch of bullets, and you want to cancel the spell before those bullets kill you. Now at the start of this, have blue gauge, even though we're gonna need the red gauge. Shoot her a little and then go down, and as you're going down, make sure that your Myon is pointing straight upwards, and then using unfocused movement, focus movement, go directly above the letter N, and you need to also stop shooting so you don't destroy these familiars. Now you need to do a focused bomb. The timing is when a rice bullet reaches about this position. So it's a little bit below the ceiling. That is the exact frame that you need to bomb. I mean, it's not a one frame window, but it's around this timing. It's actually a pretty lenient timing. So the very first rice bullets that reaches the ceiling, that would reach the ceiling, when it reaches this position, press bomb. Now, after the bomb, you're gonna need to move very, very slowly. Now, there is gonna be some troublesome rice bullets are this guy and this guy. So if you're moving very, very slowly, you can go to the left of this one, and then if your tempo is also really slow and good, you can then go to the left of this one. However, if after you go to the left of this one, you accidentally make too big taps, you can no longer go to the left of this one. Then you need to go to the right of this one. Alright. See what happens in this replay. So I was tapping well enough, and the same story applies for this rice bullet. If you're tapping slowly enough, you can go to the left of it. If you're not, you're gonna have to go to the right of it. This replay had good, nice tapping, so I was able to go to the left of that one. Now for the rest of the spell, just there is no more specific instructions. Just open your eyes and touch the rice bullets as you slowly stream. Now, yeah, we can see two rice bullets here. There's currently 3, but wait, let me. Okay. So these two rice bullets, you can, if you have the opportunity, go between them. However, these two, never attempt to go between these two. Okay. You can go between them, but it's not advisable. Alright, so you want to cancel this as late as possible, because this gives a lot of grace. Okay, one last thing I just realized I forgot to mention is after you bomb, you want to shoot at the boss, but the problem is if you do a full shot cycle on the boss right now, you will finish her off. So you want to do half a shot cycle. To do this, you need to press shoot during the time that the bomb is still active. So, and since the bomb is still active, it will prevent the first half of your shot cycle to not come out. And easy way to time this is when the last star item hits youmu, press shoot. As you saw there, only half the shot cycle came out. I'll let this play once in full speed. So the idea behind shooting after the bomb is so that when you try to finish the spell, you won't destroy any familiars before you finish the spell. If you don't shoot after the bomb, she will have too much HP and you will need to shoot her more, which will end up destroying more familiars. And that is bad because you get more familiars on screen, give a better cancel, and increase the B value here. Now the B value here gives you more time to simplify it, and you can increase it by letting the boss spawn familiars and you not destroying them. Okay, so for the next non-spell, you first destroy the 3 familiars and then you POC. And now just get into this position so you cover the area around her and you destroy all of these familiars. At the start she spawns 3, then she moves and spawns... Oh, you can move this, nice. Where will I move this? Here, I guess? No, here. So she will spawn 3, move, then spawn like more than 3, move, spawn 3, and then stay in place. You get the idea. Just follow the replay. Now for the last one, you want to kill Wriggle without destroying any familiars, and for that you can get close. Alright, so Nightbug Tornado, this is a grazing spell, so after cancelling you need to hold shift to get the red gauge. So get right below her or a little bit to the left at the start, and then try to stick as close as possible. This is generally the best plan on getting to graze both this lane and this lane. Even though this game has spawn graze protection, being really close is generally a good plan in my experience. So after you finish that, you go straight above Wriggle and then slowly start going in a circle. So this is the correct gap to go into. Don't go into any other gap of these green rice. After you're out, do an arc like this so you can graze even more red bullets, and be careful of the random light blue bullets. Now you need to go into this gap directly below Wriggle. Do not go into any other gap. And as you graze this, try to be in a position where you're grazing this outer ring and also the one that's right behind you. If you're lucky, this upper part won't be cut off from you. And then continue on doing the arc. It all how do you say this in English? It all aligns perfectly. Now the same thing as the green rice from the previous wave. Do not go into any other gap. Now you need to go directly to the right of Wriggle, and after you finish that, go directly below Wriggle and then move directly down and then graze some more, but you'll need to do it quickly because you don't have much time. After that, if she has no chance of moving up, go above her, and if she has any chance of moving up, she probably will, and you go below her. And this, she has no chance of going up because she's high up on the screen. You go above her. Now you aim your Myon to the right and bring her to low health. And here, once you finished it off, you gain invincibility, and you can use it to graze some more bullets, like go through them. Make sure you keep the red gauge for the next spell. Now the Nightback Tornado drops some items, but it's not a big deal if you don't collect these items with the blue gauge, because it's early in the game and they're not worth much. Now here looks like I got him with the blue gauge, but it's not like a super important detail. Now for the last spell, you start to graze below the leg on your right, or Wriggle's left leg, so over here. And then you stream towards the left. Now this one is self-explanatory. The better you are, you can get closer to bullets and gain more graze. A good graze number here is 1.8k. This replay I think gets less than that because I played very safe. Now as you approach the last wave, you want to finish grazing the last wave and then immediately cancel it. If you cancel it good, the yellow number will be 1.1 million. I cancelled it too late here, so I got only 0.8 million. And that is it for stage 1. So here we are in stage 2. The opening furballs are nothing special. You can do it in many ways. This is the way I like to do it. Now the following section is pretty hard. So this is the 2k fairy. We call it 2k fairy because you can get 2k time orbs from her, or rather 2.2k. Now that is actually the maximum you can get at once. We believe this fairy actually drops more, but due to the item cap, you only get 2.2k. Now it's a 7-frame window, but with solo youmu there is an additional layer of difficulty. So the first goal is to bring the fairy as close to 0 HP as possible by going right on top of her and hitting her with only youmu. And then you go above her, circle around and finish her at right timing while you're below her. So let's see that once in action. As you can see, we got 2k time. Now, first thing you need to do is you need to start shooting at the correct time to align your shot cycles properly to bring her down to 1 HP. Now this fairy has youmu that ends at a specific moment, and using that youmu, we need to align our shot cycles with that invulnerability ending. So the correct time to start shooting is, well, the only way I can explain it is by saying pum pum pum. So the first 2 pums were the sound of the fairy shooting. You can hear that sound clearly. And then the third pum was when you start shooting. So let's see that again. This time I will try to also also voice how I think. So you need to have that internal clock inside of you. Pum pum. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, so you from the video you can hear both of the shots from the fairy, but the third pum I try to describe, you cannot hear it, but it's the time when you start shooting, and it's like when I play this I can like hear it in my head, because that's when I need to start shooting. Okay, let's move on. So you need to shoot for a specific amount of shot cycles, and there is not much help here. You just need to learn how to do that by feel. After you finish doing that, go up, and then right before this rice is about to hit you, you need to make a circle or like a square around her, and when you reach here you shoot. You can do it this way, or you can also go up to the ceiling and then go here and touch this point, and then here. I also saw some players do it like that, or you can stand really close here, closer than I am, and then go a very tight circle around her, if that's how you prefer. So find your own thing. And there's two ways you can get +4 here, because remember, these familiars are very fragile. First of all, if the HP of the fairy is lower than the HP of familiars, then you're guaranteed to get +4, because you can kill the fairy by hitting familiars. However, if your first part where you damage the fairy wasn't good enough, and the fairy actually has a little bit more HP than a familiar, then the possibility of +3 is here. And to avoid that, you need to directly hit the fairy without hitting the familiars. And whether or not which case happens, it's hard to tell while you're playing, but it's good to know that both of these cases are possible. So after you get this 2k, hopefully you get it, then you just stand here and let Myon kill these 4 balls. And now the incoming fairy has a lot of HP and is very hard to kill, because it keeps spawning familiars, and the familiars soak up all the damage. And if you just try this a couple of times, you will understand what I'm talking about. So the way to kill this fairy is you need to be directly above where she spawns, so that is here. And then when she spawns, you need to use the Doppler effect to rack up even more damage as you go up. And then you sort of follow this pattern. So you go here, and then you will need to move away because of bullets. And then you go tight way on her right, and then go until you're to the left of her, and then move down. So this is your trajectory, and this will allow you to get +3 or +4 on her. Now the thing about this fairy and a bunch of next fairies is that if they're alive for too long, then the next fairy won't spawn. and that means you lose point items, which is catastrophic. So you need to kill these fairies quickly. Now, when exactly is it too late to kill them? Well, if they spawn 5 familiars, you're too late. If they spawn 4 familiars, you're either on time or too late. And if they only get to spawn 3 or less familiars, you killed them quickly enough. So of course you want them to spawn as many familiars as possible, because that gets you more time. So the goal is +4. But the thing with +4 is that it's risky. It's very easy to accidentally be too late. So what I personally aim for is to make it most of the time +3, but sometimes when I slip up and make it too late, I get a +4, something like that. Be very safe here. Now let's see this fairy absolutely getting destroyed. Okay, and when I was starting out, killing this fairy on time was practically impossible. Alright, so the next fairy is gonna spawn on the right. If you kill this one quickly enough, you get +3 here. Now you move away to kill some furballs here and deal some starting damage to her. Now I'm not actually sure if this actually deals any damage, but I do it anyway. So the plan for this fairy and a couple of fairies that are just like this, right after this, is you get to this point where you can safely go below her. So you reach that, and then you go unfocused, and right around here you've covered this part while focused, and then you release focus again as you go here, and somewhere around here you start shooting. So the idea is, while you're focused here, the Myon will catch up to you, because if you don't focus, Myon will be too much to the left, and it will make destroying this fairy harder. Now, if you look at some players, for example Rivers, he doesn't focus at all. However, I have no idea how he even does that, and this is the best way I have found to do this. Alright, let's see this. So focus a little under her, and the same rule as this one. Cover this part unfocused, focus a little bit here, and then you can go all the way up to the wall and then do this motion. And repeat for this one, and repeat for this one. Now the thing about these, a pretty funny thing, is that the fairy on the right and the fairy on the left, or rather fairies on the left and fairies on the right, are a little bit different. In general, the fairies on the left are harder to kill and are generally easier to mess up. If you're having trouble with this, one thing you can think about this is you want to start shooting when Myon is right on top of the fairy. Okay, so the last one is gonna spawn a little bit to the right than the other ones, and here you want to have actually +7. So the way you do this is you get to here so that the familiar that this one shoots ends up going to the corner here. And when that familiar in the corner is still on screen but as far away as possible, at that point you kill the fairy. So because you want this familiar to still be on the screen, so you get a time from it, but you want the fairy to spawn as many familiars as possible. And the way you kill this fairy is that you're here, you're moving slowly while focused, and then suddenly you dash up unfocused, and while you're here you end up killing her. You can get +6, +7 or +8 here. Let's see this. Alright, and after that you go straight to the upper right corner. Now you want to kill these ones as soon as they spawn bullets, and well, since you were in the corner, the familiars they spawn a little bit misdirected, so you can hit the fairies directly and kill them. You only need one shot cycle for these two. Now you go around here. You go around here, and then you make it so that Mion is facing this direction, and then you want to cancel this fairy as it spawns more familiars. And these guys will just die as a collateral damage. And then you quickly go under this one and time your shot so that it dies as it spawns familiars. Now you go collect all the items. You make Mion face this direction, and you move a little bit to the left, and then the next fairy is gonna come down here, and you need to kill it so that it dies right as it spawns familiars. I started shooting a little bit too late, so I only got +4. Usually you get +5. And then after that, hold left, so your Mion ends up killing these 4 balls nicely. Maybe I'm doing this too detailed, but who knows. Alright, so the next hard section, these guys. So the big thing here is if you want to cancel all the bullets that these guys spawn, you need to misdirect the familiars towards here, and then you move under them so you can hit them directly. If while they're spawning familiars, you're already here, the familiars will be in your way and you won't be able to kill the fairies, and the whole screen will be filled with bullets. So it's counterintuitive. If you want to make sure that they do not fill the screen with bullets, you want to kill them faster, and if you want to kill them faster, you go below them sooner, right? Well, guess what? You just doomed yourself. So it's counterintuitive. If you want to make yourself safe, you need to play unsafe. And as for these 2 fairies, just hope they get cancelled by the Mion, or if they don't get cancelled, they'll shoot a lot of bullets, but those bullets are fine. They're not lethal, even if they do appear. And now the same story as the first wave, just in the opposite direction. So the familiars are already misdirected, so we can go under these fairies, cancel them, and then you touch the wall and make Myon kill the furbolgs on the other side. Make sure you kill them all. If you let some of them live, it will be bad. Then you go into middle here. And you have to wait a little to make sure that the familiars of the left two fairies are properly misdirected. You go under them and cancel them. Some bullets from the right side were left weren't cancelled, but it's fine. Now, once again, you need to make sure that all the furbolgs from the right side are dead as you prepare for the next 2k fairy, same as the first one. Now let's see that in without stopping. Alright, so the next 2k fairy. It's the same as the first 2k fairy, except that it isn't. So there is actually some kind of difference. We don't know what exactly. Maybe it's just one extra invul frame, but you do it the same way. So the fairy is gonna shoot 2 bullets. You will hear 2 sounds. Those are pum pum, and then you start shooting at the third pum like this, pum pum pum. Alright, and you shoot specific number of shot cycles, and then you go up, circle around the fairy, and cancel it. Let me make it so that the shot sound is audible. There we go. Okay. For the second 2k fairy, you can try to cancel it clockwise instead of counterclockwise. Now, canceling it counterclockwise is easier, objectively speaking. But the thing is, since the 2 fairies are similar but different, maybe it's better to have a different method for them so that your brain knows a clear distinction between the 2. So that might be a good reason to do the second 2k fairy clockwise. But is it a good enough reason? I don't know. Okay, right after that you have the RNG section. Now, once again, this is very troublesome, and if you're starting out, you generally don't care about the cancels. You just want to survive. Now, the same rule applies where you can misdirect the familiars and then go under the fairy to kill it directly. Now, if you want to kill, if you're like, for example, right here, and then there is a fairy right here, and you want to kill it with just Myon, if you just point the Myon directly at the fairy, she won't die, and will instead fill the screen with bullets. However, if you make Myon aim slightly below her, so that only like the very top tip edge is hitting her, then you will properly cancel the fairy and kill her with no bullets on the screen. Why is it like that? No idea. So you can see that principle applied to this fairy here. Let's see that again. So this fairy on the right, I didn't try to shoot directly at her, but a little bit below her. And I will try to do the same for this one. And now this one I kind of failed and accidentally shot directly at her. As you can see, it didn't work out. So for the next section, well, first of all, I was busy dodging here, so I didn't do this section properly. But you do it the same way as I will do it this way on this bunch. So first you go high up on the screen, pretty high up on the screen, to misdirect some starting familiars, and then you go like this, and when you go like that, Myon will be facing this direction, and then you will go directly below this fairy, the first one, and then cancel her at the right timing, and then you will move a little bit. You will move from directly below her a little bit down left, and that will make Myon shoot in this direction. Myon will be somewhere here, and this will help add more damage on top of the familiars. And then you keep shooting upwards, and you finish the thing without moving your Myon. So that's the whole idea. Let's see that in action. And the same for this wave. Go pretty high up, go over here and make Myon shoot upright. Cancel the first fairy with your shot, move down left, which will make Myon shoot towards some of them. But make sure that this Myon doesn't accidentally kill the topmost fairy. And then you finish the rest of it with only your main shot. Do not involve Myon again. And the last wave is a little bit different. Just follow what I do. Just do something like that. There is that last wave, it just gets messy all the time. There's no real way to do it cleanly. And we've reached the fat mid-boss. Okay, so stalling these knobs, the advantages are you increase the B value, and you distribute damage to the familiars, which transfers less damage towards the boss. So, and since more of your shots connected, overall you gain more time. So you can stall this none, or you can be lazy like me and just get it over with. Now it's fine to not stall the first mid non, but definitely stall the first non of the boss itself. So that was Horned Owl. There is a grace strategy that is really hard and not worth the effort. And now we get into the boss. And as you can see, the B value has a reset. So even if you stalled the mid non, the B value didn't carry over, so it's not that worth it. However, this one, since there is a bunch of other patterns after this, stalling it is very beneficial. Now one thing here is that if she, after shooting this first wave of green stuff, if you make her move left, then the second green stuff will actually be a little bit easier, but this none isn't hard, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, just stall it, and then for the first spell here, you want to be on the left side of Mystia, and also point me on a little bit to the left. Then go to the left, and now you start slowly moving to the right. Here you can bottom drag, or you can just use focused movements, whatever you wish. And just keep the blue gauge. And as the moment you finish this, make sure that you're to the right of Mystia, so her final move, because she does like a final movement between the non-spell and the next spell, or rather between this spell and the next non-spell. I don't know why. And as you cancel this, while you move up, stay below Mystia and shoot her a little bit, which adds on damage. Even though it doesn't show, it does add damage. And you need to move up fast to collect all the items, and as soon as you collect all the items, start holding shift so that the remaining time orbs will move you towards the red gauge. I'm already at the red gauge, but yeah, collect items at the blue gauge, then switch to red gauge. Now you stand around here and do this starting grace, or you don't have to. Now the important rule for this green stuff is the same rule as the first non, is that after she fires the first wave, you need to make her move left, so that because that makes the second wave of green stuff much easier. Of course, she can only move left here, but keep that in mind. So as she starts firing these familiars, you need to be straight below her. Now we're gonna bomb this pattern 4 times. If you died anywhere before this, which will likely happen, you will only have 3 bombs, which I will shortly cover what to do after that, after we're done covering the 4 bomb pattern. So just go above her, follow this timing to bomb. So when you bomb, you go downwards, and on your way down you actually graze some of these mentos, and that is only possible if you're directly above her when you bomb, and if you were directly below her while she was shooting the familiars. Now try to make her move zigzag like that, and with your bomb invincibility you use that to graze these green stuff. Remember, this game has spawn graze protection, so it's not like ton of graze because of that, but it's a lot of graze. Now repeat that 3 more times. Do not shoot at her at all. The bombs will do the rest of the damage. Now the final bomb is the same as the others. If you didn't shoot at the very start, she will have a bit more HP. And if you shoot it early, she will have this much HP. Now, once again, stand below her, and then go up and finish her off. Now remember, you cannot finish non-spells by hitting familiars. You have to hit her directly. And you want to finish her off before those familiars go below the screen. So you want as much of them on the screen as possible. Now let me quickly describe what to do if you only have 3 bombs. So your third and final bomb needs to be a little bit later, and then if it's a little bit later, none of the green stuff will get in your way. And then just stand right above Mistia as she spawns the familiars, then go below her and start shooting her and finish the non-spell off. So that's the plan if you have only 3 bombs. Now make sure that you move below Mistia here, but also keep your red gauge because you need it. And we'll do 4 zigzag taps. Do not be too close because you will get hit. She only does 4 waves of these anti-safe spot red bullets. After that you're fine. Now you do this graze at the start. Do not shoot. While you do this red stuff, do not shoot. After the red stuff is gone, you can shoot. Now just copy what I did, or you can be a little bit more aggressive if you want. And finish this at around 0 seconds. So once she fires the next wave of familiars, you can cancel. Now for next spell, grab the items at the blue gauge and keep the blue gauge. And then the next position you want to be in. So there's gonna be a circle like this. And you want to be around here, above that circle. And this is the middle line, right? And you want to be as close to the line as possible, but still on the right side. So there's that circle, be a little bit above her. And then just move right once to dodge those. And then move right once to dodge these. And this next one can be variable. You usually need to tap up a little bit. But yeah, just finish it off. You can graze that pattern, but it's pretty hard to do. And it doesn't gain much. And now for the final one. So once you're directly below her and she finishes firing familiars, what she will do is she will move once, then she will move twice, and she will move the third time, and her final position will be actually like 1 jump away from the starting position. So as I make her move left here, I know that her finishing position will be right here. She will move once away from, she will move from that position once, but she will come back and stay there. And I died. Don't die. And yeah, she moves 3 times on each wave. And you want to finish this spell as she's spawning familiars. And that's it from the stage 2. Okay, so here we are at stage 3. If you made it this far, you're a real warrior. Now at the start of stage 3, you have 2 cancels, and to get the best time it's a 3 frame window. And in the first fairy, you want to hit it a little bit on the left, and then the second fairy, you want to hit her a little bit on the right. So the first one a little bit on the left, then this second one a little bit to the right. Now you will know that you got the best possible cancel if the leftover bullets have a shape that is something like this. So if you have this shape, then you got the best cancel. So obviously this isn't the best cancel, and the second cancel is even worse. Okay, so clear out some of the fairies on the left side, and then finish off this fairy, and then go POC here, make sure it's a POC, and stay there for a short bit to misdirect some starting bullets, and then go here. If by the time you get here if you get here and there is like a bunch of bullets in your way, that means you didn't stay on the right side long enough. Now you need to kill a fairy that's right over here, and you need to kill it with only your Myon and with one shot cycle. So if you saw me move, I went like up and down. This will make Myon shoot straight upwards and kill this fairy. Let's see that again. Up, down, and then shoot it once. Now you position yourself. This is the axis that these two fairies are. This is so ugly. So this is the axis that these two fairies are on, and you need to be a little bit to the left of it, and you wait a bit before you shoot, and just keep shooting. Now the tricky thing here is getting a good cancel while not allowing any fairy to escape. So this fairy and this fairy, you need to make sure that you get them, that they do not go off screen, because then you lose items, and that is really bad. And then afterwards you just clean up, and for the next section you need to be around here with Myon pointing at a 45-degree angle over there, and you just do that just by moving down left. Pretty easy. Now this replay I'm a little bit too high, but it's okay. Now these fairies, and we call them 900 fairies, and what do 900 fairies do? They give you 900 time warps. Crazy. So if you kill them too early, you will get only 500, and one of the two familiars, preferably both, need to be alive for you to get the cancel. If you kill both familiars before the fairy, you don't get the cancel, and it will fill the screen with bullets. So the timing is like that, and then you use focused movement to move a little bit to the right and align yourself with this right familiar, your right familiar. And then you need to start shooting a little bit earlier, because to time this one, and then you move left. You move left to properly cancel this guy. So what is the tricky part here? If you fail this cancel, that means that your timing of shooting or your starting position was wrong. Like, you should be a little bit lower than this. And then if you fail this cancel, that means that you didn't move towards the left at the right time. Also, make sure that the movement left is like really small. You don't want to like make a large leap to the left. Okay, and the last one, you move up a little bit because you will soon want to POC. You cancel it, and then you want to wait a sec. So it will shoot these bullets, and you want to go like this. You want to go between these. Okay. Now if you try to go somewhere else, you will be too slow, and you need time, you need to be fast here. So POC, and then next up we will be here shooting up with the main shot and shooting left with the Myon. So you go directly below the first one and kill it with one shot cycle. Oh, I should mention how many shot cycles the first wave has. So this one is only one shot cycle. This is more than one shot cycle, I think two. And this is only one. Okay, so if you're directly under the ferry, you need only one shot cycle. So once again, the position here is important. And you do one shot cycle for this, and then you move left. The same thing applies as the previous one. So since you need to, if you're directly below this one and you start shooting at a timing where you correctly cancel this one, then this one won't get correctly cancelled. So you need to move away from this one and instead be here. And once you start shooting, you don't stop shooting like that. So move a little bit left and then just start shooting. And the last two fairies will just move into you. You move into your shot and cancel themselves. And the last one will shoot some troublesome bullets, and you will need to go around them quickly to go for the POC. Now we're in this position, and Myon is pointing over there. Now this is the hardest one, and there is so many things here I need to tell you. So well, let's see it once actually. Okay, so there is 4 fairies, as you can see. We saw one big cancel here, one is happening here, and then the next 2 cancels, one is here and the last one is here, and the last one wasn't properly done. I missed the last one, which is very easy to mess up. Now let's see the movement of youmu. Start here, and you go like this, then you move up. All while focused, because you don't want to change your Myon angle. Okay, and one fairy, this one, just died from the last bit of shot. Preferably you don't kill that one, but it's fine if you accidentally kill it. And then just go here and time this cancel. Now there is more to this. So, and the thing is, if you want all 4 cancels, it is actually your best shot is if you have 3 shot cycles and have like very small gaps between them, like talking about 5 frame gaps between them, and these gaps will help you time the cancels properly. But what they will also do is that they will make time orbs fly faster towards you, and that will help with the item cap, because if you just keep holding down the shoot button, the time orbs will fly towards you slower and you will hit the item cap and lose items, lose time orbs. So the speed of time orbs that are flying towards you is determined by whether you're holding the Z button or not. The Z is the shoot button for the controller players out there. Okay, so you wanna mash Z or like do 3 taps, whatever works for you, to make the time orbs fly towards you faster. So I was mashing the shoot button here. So afterwards you go POC up here and then aim Mion upwards to cancel these 2. Now don't move left or right, let the fairies come to you, like that. Then you need to quickly go over here and then do this. As you see, these 2 bullets, they're dangerous and you need to avoid them, so you need to be quick here. One issue you will encounter when you do this is that you will actually start hitting all the familiars at the fairy spawn instead of the fairy. To avoid that issue, you can do it in 2 ways. You can just get there faster, and also don't let go, shoot. While you're here, start shooting. While you're here, you're shooting, and while you go here, you're still shooting, so never stop shooting. And that will fix the issue. However, there is another way to fix the issue, and that is to just get over here, like super high over here. And even if you're late, even if you're not early, you can still avoid the issue of destroying the familiars if you go high up like that. In this replay, as you saw, I was quick enough to get there, so that's how I avoided that issue. Now you do make sure you have the blue gauge and you're doing slow focus taps while you move away from these aimed pellets. Now the rest is self-explanatory. You want to cancel. You want to stay on top of the fairies so they don't shoot the rings. Now getting this cancelled properly is actually you need to make sure that Mion is like all of its shots are 100% hitting the fairy. If any of these shots, because you're too far away or because you're like imprecise or something like that, you will get a worse cancel. So let me try to get that cancel circle in the frame. Alright, so if this circle looks bigger and like looks less juicier, I don't know how to explain it, then you got the worst cancel. You need to be careful. Okay, so on the last one you can actually wait until it spawns 9 familiars, but this one is a lot easier because you just don't have to manually time it. You just hold the shoot button and the invul ends at a convenient time where we can just cancel it. Very convenient. Alright, the mid boss, if you get some good numbers for pre-mid boss, for 5 billion, 11k for 5.5, maybe 12 or 13 for 6 billion, 15 is good. The maximum you can get is 17k. So here you just clear the familiars, shoot the boss a little bit, then clear the familiars again, shoot the boss a little bit again, and then just clear 2 familiars, and then wait for the last familiars to spawn and just move on and get the red gauge here. So now you need to line up using the UI here. So this point is where the T in the upper, where the 2 lines of the letter T are intersecting. Now your allowed area is something like this up here and this up here. So this zone, this is kind of hard. One second. Okay. So the allowed area would be something like this and this. So this is your allowed height, and the lower you are, generally you're safer, and the higher you are, you get more time orbs, but generally you're less safe. So I recommend just being straight on top of this intersection. Now in the replay you will see me being extra safe here. You don't really need to be that safe, as you can see. Now you go towards the left, and now you need to have a cue for when you start moving from left to right to dodge the aimed bubbles. You can use many things for a visual cue. You can even just react to the sound of the bubbles coming out, but that is maybe something you can do with Scarletine. But with Youmu, since she is slow, I found that quite dangerous. So the cue I use is the Kane going up and down. So at the start she will move down. She is currently at the minimum height, and then she will move up, and when she reaches her maximum height she will shoot a bullet, and then slowly move towards the left. And the next one, since the previous wave, this one just now, has been shot while she's high up, the next wave will be shot while she is at the minimum height. So she has now reached the maximum height, and when she goes down next, she will shoot. Next, and it cycles. First wave she shoots while she is at the maximum height, then the next while at minimum height, and it cycles like that. Next up when she's low, right now, and next up when she's high, next up when she's low, and now when this happens, when a bunch of bullets are all around you, she will shoot the next bubbles much quicker. And once you dodge those bubbles, finish the spell. Now you want to finish the spell because at that moment there is a lot of familiars on screen, and you want to, and those half of those familiars will despawn if you don't cancel now. So that is why we're canceling right now. And as soon as you cancel, you want to go up because she will drop some items. It was hard to see here, but she did drop some items, and you want to have the blue gauge and be on the top of the screen to collect them. Now position yourself around here. It's not super important, I mean it's not super precise, and after you click to skip the dialogue, she will drop you more items. Now it doesn't matter if you're holding focus, as long as you have the blue gauge you will get double value items. Now this past the mid-boss section, one fairy will come over here, which is the 900 fairy. You need to cancel her, and then two fairies will be here, and they're the same thing, same deal as the fairies at the very start of the stage. And there is once again this free frame window that you wanna try to hit. After you just kill the first fairy, you can just clean up everything else. You need to slowly move down and avoid these blue bullets as you do that. Let's see this again. So here are the two fairies. One is over here and one is over here. Wait a bit for these familiars to reach the second fairy. This wasn't a perfect cancel, but it's good enough. Just hold shoot to cancel all of these. Now if you do it like that, you will have red gauge here, and when you get into position to cancel this one, you need to be straight below her, so that when you move up, you will go through these items and get the blue gauge right before the POC. So do not mess this up and accidentally collect all these items with the red gauge. Now this leftover guys are somewhat troublesome to kill. What I like to do is just try to shoot them with Mion a little bit by holding up right. But you don't need to do that. You can just immediately go down and start shooting them. Now you go from left side here. Now this is a tricky part, because this fairy will shoot a ring soon, and you need to get on top of it to stop them. And the problem is you want to be close to this fairy to get the best cancel. So there is a very tight window where you can still get the best cancel here and make it in time to stop this fairy from shooting the rings. Now the moment where you need to shoot, where you need to start dashing towards the right, is when the first familiar, this one, is over here, and then the second familiar is over here, and the center of the screen is exactly on the halfway point between them. That is your visual cue for when you need to start dashing towards the right. Now I did get the pass cancel here, which is pretty cool. And once you get to this one, you can start holding focus. Now point items will arrive at your character before time warps, so you don't have to worry about collecting the items with the red gauge. And we will slowly move here while being on top of the fairy, and don't shoot. And then you start shooting when the first familiar is around this position, which, if you imagine that there was like an extra familiar, the -1 familiar, right when it reaches off screen, will you start shooting. Alright, and once you cancel that, in this replay it was done very sloppily, but once you start shooting, you want to go down here, so you're below the POC line, and then when you wait a little, just a tiny bit, so the time warps will get you to the blue gauge before you go up to the POC line and get the items. It's hard to see, but I think in this replay some of the items were not collected at double value. Let's see that again, and dash now. Okay, and start shooting now. Okay, once you get after that, we have the final two fairies. So you get you get on this horizontal position, and then you need to make sure that your Myon is pointing directly towards the right. You can do that by shortly moving left, then right, then left. That will make sure that you get the correct position. Now you get on top of this little guy and stop shooting here, because that will make timing these cancels easier. Now I did shoot, and that messed up my gauge, so do not shoot. You start shooting exactly at this moment, which is when the second blue ring reaches this fairy. You can start shooting then, and this is, I think, 2 shot cycles. I was a little bit late on that shooting, just a tiny bit late. And why is it important to time your shooting at that exact moment is so that your leftover bullets from Myon don't destroy the nearest familiar that is coming out of here. As you can see, it didn't die. And once again, I lost my gauge. Try to not do that and just time this cancel. I currently don't have a visual cue for that. If you can find one, just use it. And that is that. A good number to get from the boss mid-boss section is 5k. And then some reference numbers for entering the boss. Maximum is, I think, 27k. For 5 billion, 20k is good. For 5.5, maybe 23k is good. Alright. Now, K-Nem boss, the K-Nem boss. So she doesn't have the hitbox during the dialogue, so you can just get straight in the middle and position the Myon on top of her, so that at the start the Myon is hitting directly her, which will give you a little bit of extra time warps. Like, when I say a little bit, I mean really, really little bit. Okay, so at the start of each wave, you want to destroy the bottom two familiars and then stop shooting. And then let's go back to the start. So destroy those two and then shoot once, so you keep the blue gauge. You have to shoot at least once between the waves to remain at blue gauge. Once she spawns more, destroy two, and then shoot once to remain at blue gauge. Next up, kill those two. You can bottom drag here. I personally bottom drag, but you can do whatever you want. And then try to bring her close to 0 HP. Once she spawns the final set of bullets, just finish it off. Final set of familiars. Next up is ephemerality. This one, you want to make her move right, kill at least 2 familiars, and then continue shooting at her. Same thing here, kill at least 2 familiars. Always make her move zigzag, first right, then left, then right, and so on. And cancel the spell while there are familiars on screen for a better cancel. Okay, so this one is another unfocused shooting. You start off by shooting these 3, and you wait for this wave, which will have you, come on. Oh, I had my pen upside down, interesting. Which will have like this, and I should switch color. Okay. Which will have this, and this, like shaped like that. And you will need to go through here and then through here. And once you do that dodge, you will move to the right side. And that is your cue for going to the right side. Was there another dodge? It looks like I explained it wrong. So, okay, there is another dodge. After that one, you still need to go through here. Yeah, after that you go towards the left side and find this gap right here. You don't make that movement, but that's the gap you're going through. That is the hardest dodge of this spell. And now you just chill on this side while having your Myon hit these familiars and your main shot hit these familiars. This will get you maximum amount of time. If you do it differently, then some familiars will die and you will get less time, because you want a lot of familiars when you cancel it. Alright, at this non, just kill some, deal half the damage that you need to do, stop shooting. On the next wave, do the same thing and bring her as close to 0 HP as you can. Now you do a death bomb that will result in you getting the red gauge. And that means that you need to get hit while unfocused and then death bomb. So you wait for this, for all the bullets to clear, and then you touch Kane. You hover and press bomb. Do not touch the focus button. And only the death bomb will give you enough invulnerability to do this part. So you want to be in this circle, but you still want to make sure that Kane moves towards the right. Then you go into the next circle, which is the red circle. Now, if Kane starts here, if she moves horizontally like this, spawns the familiars like this, and then she moves horizontally once again, that means that you will have to like make a really long detour around her. That will require you to do an unfocused dash, but otherwise, if she doesn't do hard movement RNG, you can just move focused the entire time here. So you graze the red circles while inside of them, and then the blue circles while outside of them. Also, while these familiars that spawn the red bullets, they are very fragile and you don't shoot while they're on screen. On the contrary, the familiars that spawn blue bullets, you shoot them all the time and they're invincible. So this spell, you need to shoot at every blue wave to deal enough damage to cancel it in the end. And also, this spell, you cannot finish it off by hitting familiars. You need to hit Kane herself. Now this is an exception, so usually spells work in a way where you can finish them off by hitting familiars. This one is different. This one acts as a non-spell in that way. So it is a little bit tricky. So one blue bullet will fly like this, and you need to be at the right side of Kane. So you will be close to that bullet. But if you and being close to the bullet is unsafe. I mean, not unsafe, risky. But you still need to be towards the right side of Kane. So you will need, if Kane is at the very top of the screen, maybe we'll get that scenario. If we get that scenario, I'll explain it. So make sure she moves right, and then once again enter the red circle, and make sure Kane moves towards the left. So as you can enter the right circle from below, sometimes you can do it, and you can enter it from above all the time. I personally enter it from above all the time, but most players just enter below it when they have the opportunity. So don't shoot during the red wave, shoot during the blue wave. Okay, so this is a little bit hard RNG. So Kane moves from here to here. And if she makes like a steep movement like that, you will encounter a hard wave. So to not die here and get there in time, you need to be right behind these blue bullets and follow them, so that you're at all times you're as low as possible. This is the only way to survive. This one isn't that bad, but it can get pretty bad. So the trick is that if you're following those bullets right behind them, then by the time the red waves start coming out, you will actually be on top of those familiars that are around you and prevent them from spawning bullets, and you will miraculously get in. Okay, she's at the top of the screen now. Now you cannot dodge the blue bullet that goes like this comfortably, because there is not much space up there. So you will need to how do I say this right? So you will need to tightly dodge that bullet by first waiting for her to move and then quickly going towards the safe spot. Let's see that again. So I'm still on the right side, and that troublesome bullet isn't here. And now, at the same time, Kane started moving, and that troublesome bullet appeared. And by that time, I'm already here. I already got to my safe zone. So it's a tight timing, but it's not the worst, and it's not the biggest hurdle. So on the last blue wave, remember, you cannot finish this spell by hitting familiars, so you can comfortably shoot at these blue guys and actually bring her back to exactly 1 HP. And then you go down, because we will need a blue gauge to collect the items, and just cancel it by hitting her. Alright, so next one is we position. The positioning is, imagine a center of these guys, and that is your vertical position. Excuse my bad drawing. And make Myon just hit some of these. And you tap left 3 times, 2 and 3, and after the third tap, the next laser that is towards the right of you, you will go move towards the right, make a big jump towards the right. Right after that, laser is no longer in your way. So big jump here, and you need to be between this one and this one. Then you make 3 taps to the left again. More, 4 and 5, I think. Yep, 5. And that's it. And for the final one, there is many ways to do this, but this kanji for yokai, you put youmu, imagine this is a youmu player model, put so that the left edge of her is at the position of the center of that kanji, like this. And then you move right and left, and then repeat. Only move when there is a rice bullet about to hit you. Okay, so some good numbers for stage 4. If you want 5 billion, you can get 38k. 5.5, you want something like 42k. And I think maximum is 51k. But those are just ridiculous numbers. Okay, let's get on with stage 4. This one is easy to execute once you get to know it, but it's pretty hard to learn. So right at the start, you will position yourself about this height using the player, the P, and you will move just left and right, so you dodge these bullets and collect all the items. And you will block this fairy from spawning bullets right as it spawns. We already blocked it from spawning bullets. And then you're gonna try to get a cancel on the next fairy that is gonna come here. This is, I think, the best cancel you can get. You cannot get all the bullets from this fairy. Then you quickly need to go towards this location, because this is where the next fairy will come up. You need to block it from spawning bullets. And then just go into this corner. Make sure you don't leak any fairies. Make sure that none of them escape. Alright, so now these +8 fairies, there's gonna be quite a lot of them. And the way you do them is first get at the spot where they're gonna spawn, and then hold focus, and then move a little bit left and right, like a little wiggle. This will make Myon come as close to you as possible. So you want Myon to be here. Currently it's over here, and the best way to bring it to yourself is to focus and like move a little. And then you remain under her for a little bit, and then you get out. And you get out only by moving left, no need to move up or down. And you finish the fairy with Myon only, so do not use your main shot to kill the fairy from this point on. And you should get a +8 this way. Now, next one is the same story. Clean out this. Now, next one comes from the left. Okay, now we get a double fairy, so both left and right. So start doing the one on the right, just like you did the ones before. However, we're gonna escape much sooner. Now, you want to escape this bullet right here, which is the first bullet from this line, right? You want to go around that bullet from the left side. Do not try to go between. As you can see, I go to the left side of that bullet. And then just stand here in the middle. Try to stand still as much as possible. Make sure that you get the blue gauge here from these time orbs, and get to the top left corner. Now you kill the small fry from the left, and then move in to block the bullets from this one, and stop shooting. Now block the bullets from this one, and now you will need to be in this position. Your main shot, of course, shooting here, and your Myon needs to be somewhere where it doesn't kill anything. And you start shooting when this fairy and this fairy, when they align at the same horizontal position. That's around the time you need to start shooting. And that will cancel all the bullets from this one. You can get all the bullets from that one. Now this fairy over here, that was over here, just died from Myon accidentally hitting her. But it's fine, you don't care. If it dies, just copy what I did. If it survives, just immediately finish it off. Now POC before the next part, and then just kill this bunch this way. Not much to say here. Now kill the small fry on the left, block the bullets from this one, stop shooting, of course. And then make sure that your Myon doesn't shoot at this one by going up and down to align it. Keep shooting here, and then just use focused movement to get under this one. It will create an opening. Now quickly POC, and now we get to the pretty hard part. So the first two are pretty simple. You do this one as you do any other, and then same thing here. I got +7 here. That's pretty normal. It's pretty hard to get +8 on both of them. Now sometimes what happened here actually is that I kind of accidentally cheated my gauge. I'm going to show this. So as you can see, there's a bunch of time orbs going towards me, and I'm holding focus. And you will notice that once, okay, I do get the red gauge here. Okay, for some reason I thought I'd accidentally avoid, but this you can actually still remain at blue gauge even though you're holding focus and a bunch of time orbs are flying towards you if you happen to kill a familiar at the convenient timing. But that's not the goal here. Even if you get the red gauge here, you should have enough time to first wait for the blue gauge from these time orbs and then POC, and still be in time to get under this one. Now there is much less time here. You need to move a lot sooner under this one, and there is a specific height you need to be at, and that is around this height. So this is like the correct height, and you go directly under this one. Now you see these bullets, you want to be under them, but you still want to be inside these familiars. So that is around, this is how you know where the correct height is. Oh, and these guys as well. So this guy is like spawned right above me, and that means that I'm at the correct height. And this is very scary, and the tricky part is there is no real safe way to do this. Like there is no way to safe play this. Or what I'm trying to say is that if you try to trust your instinct and try to play extra safe, you will probably just end up dying even harder. And if you die here, a bunch of items can drop. You can accidentally pick up a bunch of items that are not at double value, or you can just like chain death a bunch of times. So, or you can just or everything can just end up fine. There is a suicide spot here if you want to do the suicide route, but that will require you to no miss the entirety of the game, which is pretty hard. So if you got inside that last ferry correctly, you should be able to clean it up quickly. Now get under this one, and this time you're actually gonna remain inside the bubble just this tiny bit longer, and a little bit to the left of it. This will prevent bullets that will like go in this direction, and if some bullets that go in this direction spawn, they're quite troublesome and hard to avoid. And since I did that one correctly, there is like no leftover bullets from that one that will get in my way here. Now for the last one, you can remain around this position and try to move as little as possible, and then wait for it to die, and after that go between the red rice and the blue bullets. Now if the red rice and the blue bullets, if there is no gap between them, that means that you were too much towards the right when you were standing up here and killing that one, or you moved towards the right too soon. So try to stay in the middle a bit longer and try to be overall more towards the left if that happens. There is also a way to where you stand like here instead of here, and then there will be no gap, but you actually go between these, and it's actually quite safe if you always go through the same gap at the same timing and you're always at the same height. Anyways, once you get up here, you want to be close to the wall so that the next small fry that is spawning from the right doesn't shoot any bullets. As you can see, I'm killing them before they shoot bullets, and then I can quickly go up without dropping any items here. Wait to POC and then you have time to go down. So stand in the middle, move very little, and then try to kill those on the right before they spawn bullets, and bam. Now you can shoot Marisa on incoming by holding the skip dialog button. Just hold skip dialog button and shoot button, and it's easy. Okay, take a breather through the dialogue. Take it easy, take it slow. Alright, so now your position. I like to position myself over this kanji and just have Myeon shoot in this direction. And here a bunch of familiars will die at once. So if you touch the focus button, like even if you touch it, like even if you think about touching it, you will lose the gauge. So do this first few dodges until all familiars are dead, unfocused. You can bottom drag to do that. You can bottom drag and only move towards the left. Now that all the familiars are dead, you can use focus taps. Now get in the middle and aim Myeon at Marisa and just keep yourself in the same position. Now get back in the middle. So here the maximum amount of familiars is 6. So you can wait until there are 6 familiars and then cancel the non-spell. And you can hit, if Marisa is at 0 HP, you can still hit familiars and for bonus time. But it's not a huge improvement. It's a micro optimization. I got a +4 here because I was impatient, but oh well. Here, just dodge and try to keep your blue gauge as long as possible, but of course prioritize survival. Now if you didn't know, the small stars are actually slowly aimed downwards, so the higher up on screen you are, the better. Now collect all the items and keep your Myeon straight up and then your position is above the E, and you will try to then move upwards only to dodge the first, to go through the first gap. So this is how it looks like, and then after the first gap you press right and down for like a tiny bit. You do a down right tap. This will aim your Myon slightly towards the left. That's what you want. So now you need to go between these two blue stars. Do not try to go here. Here is bad. Okay. After those two blue stars, it's you need to adapt to what you see. There can be a lot of cases here. At this point, I started holding focus, and after you get some space, get under Marisa and straighten up your Myon. And she should die before she gets to move back to the center. Now, if she moves back to the center and you haven't killed her, you run into a problem where she's at 0 HP, but all the familiars are blocking your attempts to hitting her directly. So, what you need to do if that happens is you need to make your Myon shoot a little bit to the right, and then try to survive as long as possible in this area while Myon will hopefully finish her off. Okay, so now in Wind Horizon, after you finish this spell, the items will vacuum towards you. So you need to be above POC when you finish this spell. That's the first thing. Second thing, if you finish this spell by hitting Marisa directly, you will there is a chance that you will not get 15 items. So this spell will drop 32 items, and if you finish it off by hitting Marisa directly, there's a chance that you will only get 17, and that is extremely catastrophic if that happens. So the way we will finish this spell is that we will go here like this, and while we're here we will shoot up the familiars that are here, and Myon will be aimed over here and will shoot familiars that are here. So this way we're not gonna be hitting Marisa, and we will be able to finish the spell off by hitting familiars, and that way we guarantee that we get 32 items. Remember, most spells can be finished off by hitting familiars. Alright, but first of all, we gotta survive this. So the familiars are harmful, you need to avoid them, as you will soon find out when you try to do this. And after you dodge the first wave, you need to know where are the safe zones, because these familiars will come up and you don't know where. Now, the safe zones are as following. Just a second. Okay. So you see this star. This star is the last star in this line. Okay. The same thing with this star, I guess, but this one is too much off center. So when you see a star like that, if you're right next to that star, like over here, you're in the safe zone, and you need to be like at the bottom of the screen. So bottom of the screen and next to that star is the safe zone. Okay, another safe zone is you count from the last star 1, 2, 3, 4, and then between 3 and 4 right over here, or between 4 and 5 over here, is another safe zone. Now over in this situation, this safe zone is the closest to the center. Come on, is the closest to the center, so I'm gonna use that. But then this is randomly oriented, right? So sometimes you will need to use the safe zone from this other type of safe zone. Now, if you use this safe zone of over here, you need to be a little bit above the screen, so don't be up at the bottom of the screen. So the exact spot where the safe zone is actually over here and over here, or over here. Like, notice that this one is at the bottom of the screen and this one's a little bit elevated. Now there is probably more safe zones than this, but knowing these two is enough to do this. So I'm at the safe zone and I can know that these familiars won't hit me. Now as they come down, you just dodge them, and as they come up, you dodge them as well. And here you will approach 0 HP. You need to try to bring her down to 0 HP, as close as to 0 HP as possible. Now you can, once she's shielded by all these familiars, you deal less damage to her, because dealing damage through familiars deals less damage than hitting the boss directly. And for the last tap, I kinda moved away so my main shot misses and only Mion hits the familiars. So that's how you damage control. And now you need to get up here, and what I explained at the start is what happened here. So my position is here, Mion is aiming here, and I just shoot, and this way I can get 32 items. There we go. Now this is the same alignment as at the very start of the stage. And this fairy looks the same as the one at the start of the stage, but it's a little bit different. So this fairy actually spawns a little bit sooner than at the start of the stage. So this time you can get all the bullets from this fairy. Now, if you remember at the start of the stage I said you cannot get all the bullets from that one. Well, here you can. Well, I got only half of them, but yeah, getting all of them is a pretty tight timing. And just finish this the same way, and now we get a +8 fairy here and a row of small fry on the left. Okay, so now you don't do this the same way as you do all the other +8 fairies. You want to stay inside the cloud a little bit longer because you need to kill it faster than usual. Alright, and as you escape, you just hold down left so that Mion still remains on top of the fairy. Now you get under these guys and move up. I grade 1 item. This is avoidable if you're really good, but I advise you focus on surviving instead. And if you do it like that, then just pick a gap you want to take. I think I take here this gap here. There we go. We click POC and get under this one. You would do it like just any other. And now we will get under this one. And now notice what happened here. I got to accidentally cheat my gauge by killing a familiar at a convenient timing. So if you notice, I'm holding focus while a bunch of these time warps are flying into me. But at this exact timing, I kill a familiar and my gauge becomes immovable because of it, and I remain at the blue gauge. it's too hard to get this on purpose. This happens accidentally. So most of the time you will have the red gauge here, because you need to focus under that fairy to get Myon close to you. So you killed that one, and now you're still at the red gauge in a normal scenario. And as you notice, while these orbs, they need to give you blue gauge because you have red gauge now. However, there is a risk of Myon destroying a familiar up here, which will make your gauge immovable for a brief period, and all these time orbs, they won't be able to change your gauge back to blue gauge, and you will end up getting a bunch of items at half value, which is bad. So the precaution to prevent that is to stop shooting for a tiny bit. Now, I didn't need to do this precaution because I accidentally kept my blue gauge, but at this point, as soon as this one dies, you have to stop shooting. Okay? Alright, and then start shooting once you're under these fairies. So now I hold up, right? This is different direction I hold, so that Myon remains at this angle and like sweeps away these fairies. And there is a different way to do this. I think Zetsu does it differently. And even if you don't kill the topmost or the two topmost, you're fine. You need to get up here and you need to be above this bullet. Okay. And as soon as you collect all the items, bomb. Do unfocused bomb. So you will have to bomb here. If you don't have a bomb here, or rather you don't have a bomb after the mid boss, well, you're gonna have to improvise. That's all I can say. Okay. So after you bombed, you wait here a little bit, and then with your last bit of ammo, you pass through these bullets and get under this fairy. And this is the same one as the last two fairies before the mid-boss. You want to stay a bit longer inside the cloud and a little bit to the left, so that you have an easier time once you get out. Okay, and now you can do this in many other ways, but I usually pick this gap while I slowly move down. The problem here is that you need to keep the blue gauge, which means you will have to mostly move unfocused. Once you kill this one, tap down right to aim your Myon up there, collect items and do this, and now you have this non. So this non is pretty hard. You want to aim your Myon a little bit to the side to spread your damage, because that maximizes time gain. Once it gets some overwhelming, just bomb. You will always have a bomb here, because the fairies just before this drop bombs, so convenient. Just don't finish off the spell with a bomb, because that reduces the value of star items. Now, this one, be a little bit to the right of Marisa, then aim your Myon to the side and be towards the left. And you will need to dodge this first star a bit, and then return under Marisa, and then move slowly to the right. Dodge this, then try to remain up here for as long as you can, and get down here before these two meet. These familiars are harmful, don't touch them, and just remain here to finish it off. If you for some reason don't finish it off, you can just get up here and like shoot it with Myon from the side. Now collect items. Now you want to be to the left of Marisa like this and have Myon shoot here. and then you can use shift tabs to dodge this hard wave. Now if you do this differently, then using shift tabs will result in you losing your gauge. So if you're wondering how do people use shift tabs and not lose gauge, they're either doing bottom dragging or they're using that exact same positioning as I had. And you can bottom drag this if you're comfortable with that, but I think this is much easier. Okay, this is what is this? Double spark. Okay, so you start off under Marisa, and then you just move in the same direction so that you know Mion will be on top of her, and let Mion hit her while you dodge here. And around here you need to plan out your route ahead. So you will need to dash somewhere here. I think this is the route. And then get under her and stay under her to speed kill her. Now if you lose the blue gauge here and you fail the spell, you cannot get the blue gauge back, because this spell has no familiars, meaning that the only time you get time orbs after finishing the spell is if you cap the spell. Which means that if you get hit while you're unfocused here, you will do a death bomb that gives you red gauge, and then you're at red gauge and finishing the spell won't give you any time orbs, but you need blue gauge for the items that drop from this and for the next spell. So if you get hit while you're focused and get red gauge, you will need to bomb again to get back to blue gauge. That is worth it to get the double winning items. But if you cap the spell, then you will get a bunch of these items, so you're fine. Now this one, I do it with the blue gauge. You can graze if you want, but not necessarily, because Youmu just gets so much time from unfocused shooting. Now just do focus tabs to move and like watch. I don't watch the warning lines. I watch the balls. So you can just watch where the balls are and dodge accordingly. Okay. Now the last spell. Get over here. Misdirect it. Don't try to misdirect it in the corner, because while you're over here, if you misdirect it in the corner, this laser will be closer to you. And in case you didn't know, this laser has a hitbox like this. And you see this area? Yes, this is a real part of the laser hitbox, which can kill you. But if you're like a little bit, if you're away from the corner while you do the first misdirect, there's less chance this will kill you. Okay, stand under Marisa and when the timer hits 56, start going to the left. Now misdirect the next laser above Marisa or to the left of Marisa. Find one gap between these lasers, and then you can just stand still. No need, because all the other gaps will align, except these two stars. Before they get to you, you will need to dodge them. They will not be aligned with the gap. I mean, it's not guaranteed that standing still will dodge those two. Now here, when timer hits 48, you need to start moving up. Misdirect that one, start dealing damage, and finish it off. There is a way to speed kill this before the third wave, but it's unnecessarily hard. And that is it from stage 4. This is a pretty good stage 4, 31k, one of my best, so I getting some good times, or 28k for 5.5. Alright crew, we're at stage 5. So stage 5 is the easiest stage. And I forgot to mention some good numbers for ending the stage 4. If you're going for 5 billion, getting 2 billion here is very good. If you're going for 5.5, getting 2.2 billion is very good. And for 6 billion, 2.4 is good. Okay, so at the start, don't move left or right, keep your perfect center position, and just get up here, shoot at the fairy, stop shooting so you don't finish her off while you're below the POC, below the POC line. Now here I somehow managed to destroy one familiar. Try to not do that. This is like the first time that ever happened to me. And yeah, go up with it, and once you're above the POC line, just finish it off. Then go down here. Do not bottom drag, just shift tab 3 times, 4 times, and let me finish the rest of those. Now these are random RNG fairies. Random RNG. Random spawn fairies. Now they're quite troublesome. At all costs, you need to kill the topmost, or the 2 topmost fairies. Sometimes like more fairies will spawn to try to body block you and prevent you from killing the topmost fairy. And if that happens, you're just unlucky. But yeah, it's important to kill the topmost fairy. Finish this and then collect items and just bomb. So doing this without a bomb is super hard. And unfortunately you have to decide in advance that you're gonna bomb. If you try to if you have the mentality where, oh, I'm just gonna try to do it without a bomb, and then if it gets hard I'll just bomb. Well, that won't work. So you have to bomb in advance. Bomb the second wave, and then the third and fourth wave are smaller, so you can do them without a bomb. Alright, so on the last one here, this replay does a mistake. I didn't know at the time, but you should try to kill the 4 most top fairies. So this one, this one, this one, and this one, because they're the ones that fly off screen. The rest of them, they don't manage to escape before everyone dies. So you can actually lose items by not killing those. So now we have the similar stuff as the opening fairy. So where is the safe spot? The safe spot is directly on top of the fairy. So here you want to kind of move down to minimize the amount of point items that you're gonna grade. Grading items here is unavoidable. So move down. So the first one is in the middle, then on the left, and then on the right. Now we get a different kind of fairies, and this time you're not directly on top of them. Instead, you start off like a little bit to the left of them, and then you move slowly. And the fairy comes with Inmo, but the familiars don't come with Inmo, so you need to delay your start of shooting, because if you immediately shoot, the fairy won't die because it has Inmo, but you will destroy a bunch of familiars which you don't want. So you start with this position and then you move like that, and you finish it off by being outside and letting the Myon finish it off like that. And then the same stuff here. And now the last one, say strat is to do it from below, but you can actually get here and then move like this, and that will have a higher chance of getting, that will give you a higher cancel generally. But here, point your Myon straight up and wait a bit for the invul to end and then just shoot, and make sure as soon as it dies that you release focus to get your blue gauge. And now Tev spawns. She has 2 nons, but these nons drop items, so they're kind of special nons. I go into the corner to do this, and then on this second wave these red bullets are aimed, so at your position you just move once left and you don't have to think about the red bullets, just the rice ones. And you can go for the speed kill, or you can try to wait one wave a bit, and of course don't die, that was an accidental death. And try to cancel this as soon as she spawns. Familiars, that's what I tried to do, but failed. So on the second non, if you didn't die, you can use a safe spot on the top right corner of the screen. If you died, then your rank is lower and the safe spot no longer works. So you need to do it from below if you died or bombed Tevin on 1. You can bomb Tevin on 1 because it's a hard pattern, just decide whether you want to take the risk. So this is how the safe spot would work. Do not collect the items and shoot her, and when the bullets appear, just go up there, and you would stay up there in the safe spot and finish her off with Myon. But here I died, so I can't use the safe spot, so I just remain here. So these bullets are static, pretty easy to dodge, and just finish it off. Now these guys are much nicer than the opening ones because they shoot aim bullets and not random. But you still want to kill the 2 topmost first before you move down. Okay, now we got a big one in the middle. So the way you do this is make sure that Myon is close to you and leave Myon on top of the fairy, and you need to be at this exact position right here, like between the second ring and the first ring, but a little bit closer to the first ring than the second ring. And then you tap down like a couple of times and the fairy will die, giving you this time I got plus 12, but maximum is plus 13. And then you kill these guys like this. This one is supposed to die. So here I have like a pretty bad failure. And since I died horribly here, I will show you how that part being done properly looks like. So once again, leave the Myon on top of the fairy and you're below it. Plus 13, kill these 2. Now collect items here, and this is the same one as right before Tevi. So this is your starting position, like right here. You wait a bit. Now you want to wait for more than just one reason. To get a bigger cancel is the first reason, but the second reason is you want to delay killing these 2 so that by the time you're done with stuff over here, these items don't drop off screen. So plus 8 and plus 3 or plus 4. Now once you get here, you wait a bit, point Mion upwards, you wait until all these familiars are on top of these Mentos. So a bunch of Mentos gets cleared out, and you keep shooting to kill that one, and you should be in time to prevent any items to drop. Once you're here, make a big arc around, and then get over here, and your Mion will be on top of this one, and your main shot will be on top of this one. And like there is no tight safe spot here. You can just be whatever you want to be in that general area. You just hold shoot and they're all gone. Kill that one and collect all the items. Okay, back to the run. Okay. If you want, you can wait. You can wait until this thing appears, BGM notification. That thing appears during dialogue. You can wait it out during dialogue, so it doesn't bother you during this. Or you can just like dodge to the left, so it doesn't get in your way anyway. So this nun has no familiars. So by cancelling this, you get no time orbs, and you need the red gauge for the next pattern. So make sure that by the time you finish this, you have the red gauge. Now use the wind up time to line yourself exactly in the middle. Exactly in the middle is right above the letter E. So this is the letter E, and you need to be right above it. Point Mion downwards and only use your main shot. Okay, so now where the position you need to be is right over here. I don't know which color is the best, which one is the most visible. Let's try it with blue. So this is your position, and now the timing for going down, you can either like eventually you will have like an eternal clock which will let you know when the time to move down is, but when you're learning this, you can use the following cue. So let's take notice of this like eye shape, boom, and boom. So this eye shape made by these bullets, right? I hope it's visible. So when that eye shape is it looks something like this. When it closes to something like this, that's when you move down. Now, alright, so you repeat this a bunch of times. And while you're down here, you want to be close to these bullets, so you're getting a little bit of extra grace from those ones. This replay doesn't do it, because at the time I didn't know this. Damage control is much easier if your Mion is pointing downwards. As you can see, she still has 2 pixels, and I'm completely safe to do a full shot cycle even with 2 pixels if Mion is pointing downwards. Now she has 1 pixel, and now I don't shoot anymore. Now, to make sure that you have the blue gauge, you need to use the time orbs from the grays to help you get to the blue gauge, because once again there is no familiars here, so very little time orbs will be dropped at the end of the spell, especially because you timed it down. The trickle of time orbs after you finish spells depends on how much time is left, and depends on the B value. Okay, so once you collect the items, shoot at this familiar with both your main shot and Mion, and quickly finish it off. And now try to eventually finish off the second familiar, and then finish the non-spell off. So you can try to get the red gauge here and then go up and do grace between the lanes. But there is not much bullets here, and you only get 1 time orb per bullet grazed, so I'm too lazy to do it. Okay, this one is self-explanatory. It's much easier than normally because youmu destroys familiars whether you want it or not. Try to keep the blue gauge as long as you can, but prioritize survival. Try to be below racing while the familiars aren't blocking your way, so that you kill it as fast as possible. So quickly go POC. Once you collect all the items, start holding focus to get the red gauge and hug the wall to be safe. Now you do these dodging. So you can just start shooting at around 13 seconds while focused, and that will finish the non-spell. However, if you want, you can use a bomb here to get to the blue gauge, so you can actually shoot it down with the blue gauge. Now what you need to do is, at around 15 seconds, if you want to use the bomb, quickly move to the one corner. Oh, excuse me, at around 23 seconds, not 15. So at around 23 seconds, start going to the left and bomb, so your bomb doesn't hit Raisin or her familiars. And now you have the blue gauge. You doing this bomb is especially good if you have exactly 3 bombs, because that means at the end of the stage, if you have 3 bombs and you don't bomb, you will not get an extra bomb. But if you bomb, you will have 2 bombs and finish the stage with 2 bombs, which will award you 1 extra bomb, which is a special power of youmu and Ghost Team. So you get your bomb back if you're exactly at 3. Now, bombs are worth 7.5 million in the clear bonus, so that is the sacrifice you're making when you bomb. Alright, so this one, you can block one of those spirits if you want. So she loses Inmul once these bullets become active, so if you want to spit kill this, you want to be in the position at the right to immediately get to her. But this replay doesn't do the speed kill, so you just take it slowly. We don't prioritize survival over having the blue gauge. You can do this thing with blue gauge the whole way if you want. Okay, so the correct timing to cancel this is when the bullets from the familiars spawn, but none of them leave the screen yet. So it's a pretty tight timing, like this is the correct timing. If you get this timing, you will get 7 million yellow bonus. I missed the timing a little bit. Some of the bullets left the screen and I only get 5 million. Collect the items and get the red gauge after you collect the items. So do this starting graze if you feel like it, and then just repeat this graze. I do it very safely. I don't do focus tabs in this replay. There is a strategy where you use 3 bombs here to use Inval Graze, but it only gets you 20 million in total, so you don't have to butter it, and just learn this. You have to learn this either way, so might as well stick with it. Now once you go up, you will need to dodge these blue bullets. Now we don't know which blue bullets will be. Is it like this blue bullet, and this blue bullet, and so on? Or is it this blue bullet, and this blue bullet? Okay, the blue color isn't good here. Let me try that again. That's this, and this. So which row is it? Or which one is it? We don't know. We will have to react. So get into position and just react. So So this spell has a correct cancel timing. That is when you want to cancel as much bullets as possible. So when Raisin dies, she turns all the bullets around her into time orbs. You want to maximize this effect, so this cancel is a little bit early. So you want her to spawn more bullets and then cancel her, and she'll like turn all bullets in this radius into time orbs. So you want to do that. If your graze is 30k or more, the best cancel is actually after the bullets go phase into other dimension or whatever. But you won't have 30k here. That's pretty hard to get unless you're like the top 3 in the world. Alright, so collect items, keep the blue gauge, and get into this position. Be in the bottommost lane, and then try to maximize damage and follow her. So if you do it in the bottommost lane, none of these bullets will get to you before they phase out. So you don't have to think about these bullets. And now over here you need to survive. Ideally you want to make her move left after you get up. I accidentally made her move right, but it's fine. Finish this off, and this when you finish this, she drops small point items, which are worth 10% of the point item, and they're immediately vacuum towards you, so if you want to POC them, you need to immediately move up. Okay, and we're done with stage 3. So, some reference numbers for entering stage 6. If you wanna 5 billion, 2.9 billion entering stage 6 is good. If you want 5.5 billion, you're gonna want 3.2 billion. And if you want 6 billion, I'm not sure really. So yeah, some good PIV numbers. This one has 1 million and 100k. Usually for 5 billion, I think 900k will be enough, and for 5.5 billion, around 1 million PIV is good enough. Alright, here we are with recording number 2, because the first one failed. Anyway, stage 6, the opening save spot. We will position so that the left edge of your character sprite is at the middle horizontal position of this kanji for yokai. So this is the yokai kanji, and this is your youmu character sprite. You're fine. The save spot isn't super tight. And also make sure that your myon is not pointing directly upwards, because you can move it more up, but you cannot move it more to the right. And once that's done, collect all the items without dropping, of course. I'm not muted like I was last time. Alright, so these stupid fairies. There are 4 waves. In the waves 1 and 4, the bottom fairy spawns first and the top fairy spawns last. And in the waves 2 and 3, it's the opposite. So the top fairy will spawn first. That's one thing. And here you are not allowed to destroy familiars because that loses items. So you only get all the items if you destroy the fairy directly. Okay, so for the first wave, the fairy that you need to kill first will spawn first. But don't actually start shooting at it immediately. As you can see here, I hesitate a little bit and then start shooting once all of them are spawned. Well, why do this? Well, if you don't do this, you risk getting a weird situation where you kill this fairy, but for some reason it doesn't give you any space at all. Like, you see this space here? This space is important. If the first fairy is over here and the second fairy is over here, you need this space to go from here to here. Now, to guarantee that that space happens when you kill the first fairy, you need to hesitate a little bit before you start shooting the first fairy. Okay. Also, here I got very good RNG, free RNG, and when you do that, you can actually use both your main shot and your Myon to kill all of them quickly and then collect all the items together. But outside of the free RNG, for the first two fairies, only use your main shot. So for killing the first fairy, your shot cycles align nicely so that you don't destroy any familiars that are above. Okay, so for the second and third wave, of course, the fairy you need to kill first spawns last, so you just need to wait. Then go under the first fairy, use only your main shot to kill it, and then use that space that was created by killing the first fairy to go under the second fairy. Like that. And then if you do it quickly enough, by the time this second fairy dies, it will cancel all or most of the arrowheads that this one is gonna shoot in just a second, and also it itself will not shoot any arrowheads, which means that you can just dash up and gray very few or none items. Like that. As you saw, most of these arrowheads were cancelled, so they didn't get in my way. And also the second fairy didn't spawn any arrowheads. And now you align yourself to be at the exact height as these familiars, and when you do that, you can safely unfocus dash across. You can, if you want to unfocus dash, you need to have a strict alignment. However, if you want to do like just move up there while focused, you can have a much you don't need to have a strict alignment. You can just go. So I got here before it shoot the next arrowhead wave. Sometimes you won't be able to do that, and when that happens, just let's see, if I was for example here, I would align myself and then move, and by the time I reach here, it would already be shooting arrowheads like this, right? And then I would just hold focus and tap down once to dodge them, and then finish the rest of the way while focused, and then get on top of it. But I'm already on top of it, and now I just hold focus and wiggle up and down so that Myon comes to me as fast as it can, because as you can see, it's right over here, and if I start shooting, Myon will kill these familiars, which is bad. I need to wait a bit, and once Myon is next to me, I go down and shoot. Okay, same principle here. Get under the first one, get under the second one, dash up as you kill it, and kill the third one. Now the last wave, as you can see, the bottommost fairy has spawned first, and here you can kill any number of fairies. You can kill all of them, or you can kill 0. If you don't have to finish all of them off, because once airing comes, they will all die automatically. and still give you all the items. Now, the thing is, the more fairies you kill here, the more time orbs you get, because once Erin comes in, the fairies will die, but they won't drop any time orbs. They will drop all the point items, which is cool, but yeah. So generally, kill at least one fairy. There's no reason to just insist on killing 0 fairies. Here, since they were so close, I actually tried to kill 2. Also accidentally destroyed one familiar. And now Erin comes and kills it. Okay, so a couple more things. The area that Erin will occupy is something like this. So this is the danger zone. If you stand here, Erin will slam you and kill you. And also, last thing, if you kill a fairy, one of the fairies, at the same time as Erin comes down, all the point items will disappear, and that is very catastrophic. So avoid that at all costs. That's why once Erin will come soon, stop shooting and just go up. No need to risk losing all the items. Alright, so the first non, mid-non, I don't understand it completely myself. I just hold focus and dodge. So if I was actually better, I would give you an advice to dodge this, but I don't. I'm not qualified to do that. Just practice. Alright, so there is a good cancel timing here. I was like a few frames too early. If I was just a little bit later, she would die at the same time as spawning all these familiars. She spawned them all on top of her, which is unfortunate. Try to get that cancel. Okay, for this spell, use the blue gauge and don't touch the focus button. If you touch the focus button, you're probably gonna lose the blue gauge. So position yourself a little bit to the left of Aiden, and once the circle is formed, stop touching the bottom and then move up left, and then stay here until these bullets go away. Wait for these bullets to, when they're just about to hit you, then move straight down. Now I moved actually a little bit too sooner. I'm not advisable to do. I wasn't exactly super precise on this at the time. And then just follow this general movement. Once again, you can do the whole thing unfocused. And once you bring her to low HP, stop shooting, and then you can focus. Now try to be at the center of the screen for this last wave. Then wait for a bunch of bullets to be on the screen before finishing it off. Try to get a 6.3 yellow bonus cancel. Alright. So for Kaguya's non-1 and spell 1, if you're good enough, try to keep the blue gauge. But if you're that good, you're probably not watching this video for educational purposes. So we just focus on survival here. The thing is, there is no time orbs dropped once you finish non-1. So what gauge you have is what you get. Try to stay under her and finish this fast. If not, you're in for a ride. Make sure you're comfortable with going through these Mentos. Like, it's actually not scary at all. And if you have that in your arsenal, you will survive more bullshit RNGs than you died to. So, at this point in the game, star items are worth more than point items, and make sure you get proper cancels. And proper cancels means there is bullets on the screen, and you're not during you. How do you say this? A bomb isn't currently in the. You don't finish nuns with bombs. Well, why do I say that? Because if you feel threatened, you can actually freely bomb during non-spells without losing much. You only lose the clear bonus, which is 7.5 million per bomb. So bombing during nuns, if you think you're gonna die, it's better to bomb. But if you can help it, try not to finish the non with the bomb, because that loses you the star items, which are worth quite a lot. So, Brilliant Dragon Bullet. I do it at the side because there's less bullets. So how do you do this spell? Well, at this very exact moment, Kaguya spawned the familiars, and there is a sound. So once you hear the sound of familiars spawning, the lasers are already aimed, and they're aimed at your position, of course. So somewhere above you is gonna be the intersection of like this is gonna be the intersect. Why is this so hard? I wanna illustrate this properly. So like this and like this. Okay. And then the lasers on the side will be like this, something like that. So what does that mean? That means that there's 3 safe zones. One is over here, one is over here, and one is over here. So, and what about the areas beyond this laser and this laser? What about all that? Well, don't go there. Simple. Alright, so you will need to pick one of these 3 safe zones. Now, how do you pick those, and how do you do this in general? So once you hear the sound, you know where the safe zones will be, and you remember them. And then you hardly have to look at the lasers again, and you can focus on the regular bullets. Now, as the lasers approach and regular bullets, you look at the bullet formation, and you decide which safe zone you're gonna pick. Here I picked the left one, judging by these bullets. And then I just go into general area where the safe zone will be, and I focus on dodging the regular bullets, and there is not I don't need to focus much on the lasers, like that. And you can see the safe zones here. They're not 100% accurate as my drawing, but I can remove this now. And yeah, these 3 are the safe zones, like this, this, and this. As you can see, this one in the middle is much smaller than the 2, but sometimes it is the best safe zone. But most of the time, one of these 2 is better. And like that, repeat as many times as it needs. Just keep shooting. So once you finish this, go up there and you wait above and to the right of Kaguya until the familiars spawn, and once they spawn, you can already go down. And now try to, the more If you spread your shots on the multiple targets, you will gain more time. That's the general concept. So over here, you can drop her to 0 HP and then still hit the familiars and still get time orbs, but it will not finish the pattern even though she's at 0 HP. That way you can gain more time orbs, but the more familiars you destroy, the less time orbs you gain once you finish the pattern. So it's kind of like a trade-off. It is a slight plus if you destroy most familiars, but the ideal thing is to try to bring down a lot of familiars to low HP, so that way you still milk some time orbs from them, and still get a big cancel when you finish the non-spell. But that all doesn't matter if you lose the gauge or don't care and just advance on like me, because it's not that big of a bonus. Alright, so Buddhist Diamond is pretty hard because it lasts longer. There's nothing you can do about it. So I already let go of my blue gauge and prioritize survival, but you can keeping the blue gauge for a long time here is gives you a lot of time. Okay, so non-free. This one you have to like keep out, like right around now you already have to make big macro dodges. So I already concluded that being over here is bad and that I should get over here based on the bubble movement that I saw. Also, stalling this non gives you more time because you're letting the boss spawn familiars without you killing them. That means that the B value will be increased. But it's not a big bonus, so I just get it over with. So Salamander Shield. Of course you can do the strat where you destroy the familiars and then graze, but that is very hard. So speed kill is also worth a fair amount. So you start at the very bottom and at the very center. The very center is about the small letter E. So you tap up twice here, and then you go between the two fireballs. Tap tap up one more time, and then once these are out of your way, you can tap down. Then you will have to go between those two. Let me try to get that one more time. So tap up twice, go between the fireballs, tap up once more, then go down, and now you will go between these. So between this one and then this one, right? Then you will have to tap up once more to dodge the lasers, go between the fireballs, big tap up, and then you go down, and it should be over by then. Word of advice, also learn how to do that one on low power, so that when you die on non-free, you don't also die on Salamander Shield. Alright, we got the retirement non. So make sure that you're comfortable with jumping between lanes here, because you will sometimes need to do that. But yeah, just keep your blue gauge here. At the start of this, try to keep your blue gauge as long as possible, and then just prioritize survival. So the important thing here is to not gray any items and to not collect them at the red gauge. Also, I got here pretty hard RNG. Don't be like me and get hard RNG and then die. I don't think there is like a real impossible RNG on this spell. I think if you're good enough, you can dodge any RNG, and that includes this one. Okay, so since I died here, you will, once you bring her to very low HP, you will have to stop shooting and then make sure you finish it off while you're below the POC line, and then wait for the items, for the point items to bring you to blue gauge and then POC. And afterwards stay at the blue gauge, then go above the big letter E, tap up once and keep shooting unfocused. Once the familiars are materialized, you can stop shooting and hold focus. This will give you the red gauge, and also move down to the very bottom and above the small letter E, which is the center, and stop shooting, of course. Now, just as about these guys are about to hit you, tap once up, don't tap sooner, and then go down here. So this is Horai Jewel, and it's the hardest thing to learn in this game, but not necessarily hardest thing to execute once you know it. So throughout the whole thing, unless I say I'm not doing it, I am bottom dragging, which means holding down to lower my speed. So throughout the whole thing, I'm bottom dragging, except at the few parts where I'm gonna specify that I'm not. So move slowly, and you will go below this red, and then below this red you will have to move first to the left and then move back right to dodge the aimed bullets. So it's the double red at the start, and then you will have to do you will have to stop bottom dragging and do focused. So don't do an unfocused dash, keep focus under this what is it called? Purple. So under purple you do not bottom dragging dash, right? Like that. Okay, let's move this away. Okay, we're still not shooting. So now you wait here until these bullets are about to hit you, and then you tap left once, and then you wait. Okay, you don't wait here, my bad. You will go through this below this what's it called, yellow. So most of these all these are, I remember them by the color of the bullet that I need to go below. The colors will always be the same, so they're not like random. The whole thing is static or aimed. So let's get under that yellow one, and then we're gonna be, I think, either under blue. So you can either go under blue and then go back, or you can go under green and then back. I chose to go under green here, and then you go under this purple guy. This purple guy. And my route on the first half is mostly, I mostly copied Rory, the Scarlet team player, but this route loses a little bit of grace because it's not ideal, but I believe it's slightly easier. Maybe, I'm not sure. But if you want to make sure that you don't lose any grades, you can copy Liva or youmu. Alright, so once you go under that purple, you will have to stop a little and chill. So you see that I was just chilling there for a long time. So that will allow me to go under this trio. And then under this yellow. Then we go under blue. Then we go under trio again. And then it's yellow again. And guess what? It's yellow again. This yellow. Now this, after that yellow, my route is the same as Liva and youmu for the most part. Also, after that one, you can start shooting, or rather, you should start shooting. So now we're gonna have to do a restream towards the left, and we will do that by doing a non-button dragging dash right through here, which is below the red one and above the yellow one, but try to make it like as soon as possible. As soon as you're not gonna be hitting the yellow bullet, go. Do not try to wait. Do not do this, okay? Do not follow the upper arrow, follow the below arrow. What's it called? Whatever, the down arrow. Like that. And then immediately stop. Now, you can try to go under this green one or under this yellow one. You will see some players do one or see some players do the other. I go under the yellow one, like that. It looks tight, but it's not super scary. And now we're going towards the right and shooting the whole time. So we will go under the trio and then immediately back, like that. And then we will have to go under the yellow. I think it's yellow, not sure. Yeah, it is a yellow here. Now once you make it through that yellow, you're kind of in a danger zone. You have to make a big dash, because for some reason these bullets are kind of, they're after you. They're gonna be here sooner than you think. Now we go under trio again, easy to remember. And once you make it through the trio, you will have to kind of make a little bit bigger dash towards the right to not get hit by the bullets. See how I made a bigger dash and I was still pretty close to getting hit. Now we go under green and then it's trio again, so it's constantly under trio and back. Now that trio is a little bit more chill than the previous one. So now we go under the purple one to restream again. So we're gonna go under the purple and then tap up once and then chill. Same thing, to stop bottom dragging when you do that dash. So we will chill here. Now do not go too far or do not tap up too far, okay? If you are still barely able to graze these bullets, then you're just at the perfect distance, at least from my experience. So now we wait. or rather, we will next go under this purple and then down left, back to the bottom of the screen. So you wait for that one to pass, and then that is that. Now we have, I think, I forgot. So it's this green, and it's this green, okay. So it's double green after the last restream on the right. So after this second green, you have time, and you should chill a little bit, like that. And you make 2 taps, and then you chill again, while you wait for this blue one. So you go under the blue one next. Now, this next part is a little bit tight, it might be the hardest part. So it's purple, and then yellow. And you will notice that getting under this yellow is a tight squeeze, to say the least. And now we have double purple to finish it off. So we go under this purple, and then we tap up slightly, and then go up, which will result in going up through here, under purple again. And then we will start streaming upwards. Of course, once you're somewhere over here, you will have to stop shooting, because Kaguya will be at low HP, as we can see. So once you make it through that, start slowly streaming upwards. Try to not lose too much grace here. We will get through this thing by going like this. Alright? And you should do this by going up and then right and then up and then sorry, it should be a movement like this, right? Do not try to overcomplicate it like that. And around here you will reach 0 seconds. So just finish it off and move up to collect the items. Now the problem with this spell is that items are vacuumed towards you, so you will need to have blue gauge and be already about the POC line when Kaguya is killed. Alright, now capping this is the easy part. The problem is when you get hit and then you need to return to your route. Now, how do you, once you get hit and you bomb, how do you return to your route? So let's say I'm over here and I'm moving towards the left, and then I get hit and I death bomb, right? As soon as I get hit, I keep imagining the ball, my position where I need to be, slowly moving towards the right, and once I can move again from the bomb, I get back to where I need to be and then try to catch on from that. So always keep your a mental image where you need to be. Next up, next thing is when you don't have bombs and you die, instead of trusting your instinct to go and collect the items, the power items, don't do that. So there is no reason to collect the power items. If you die here, just ignore them and focus on getting back to the route. Now last part is, if you die before the very end, and then you kill the boss while you still have Invu, your Invu will not be refreshed. So if you notice, once you finish the boss normally, you immediately gain Invu. However, if you're already Invu while you're finishing the boss, your Invu duration will not be refreshed, and you will instinctively think that you have invul, because you always have invul when you kill boss, but your invul just ran out from dying, and then you immediately get hit again. So it's people call it invul bug, and it can result in quite a spectacular train wreck if that happens. And finally, this boss loses invul like halfway through, so the whole first half is she's invul. So once you die, you cannot just think, oh, I'm just gonna go here and then slowly move up and just shoot it down, because if she still has invul, that's not gonna work. Unfortunate. So dying here is, in conclusion, dying here is pretty bad. Pretty bad to say the least. Now, last part about these familiars. The familiars on the side are invul, or like have so much HP it's impossible to kill them. But the familiar in the center and the familiars around them they have very low HP. So if you follow my instructions when to shoot and when not to shoot, everything will be fine. But if you try to do something on your own, you should know this. And that's it for Horaiju. Now, once you finish Horaiju, you can remain at the blue gauge, and for the last spell, you will need the red gauge. So the way to get it back in time is to position yourself somewhere high on screen, hold focus and hold shoot, and then before that, position yourself at the center. You can use any cue you want. Some players use the dialogue. I use the moon. The moon isn't actually in the center, it's slightly to the left. And once you're able to start shooting, start moving down. Like once your shots hit something, right? And if you do that properly, you will have the red gauge as you graze the first bullets. Okay, so what is the proper height to start? Well, I try to just imagine this is generally where Kaguya is, and there is like a aura circle or like a snowflake around me, and those two should not be overlapping. That's how I position myself vertically. Once these Mentos are about to hit you, slowly start streaming down, and then you dash down. Once the second rice bullet reaches the bottom of the screen, so the second rice bullet of the second wave. So that's right now. So just dash and focus down, and then a clear gap between the Mentos will appear. And now slowly start going up. So keep your red gauge, and then align yourself with the dialogue. So this is the correct height. Your hitbox should be like on top of the black box from the inside. And now just move left and right. So if you don't understand how this spell works, record a video of this spell and then play it at 3 times or 4 times speed, and everything will be clear to you how this spell works. For the next spell, we need the red gauge again, and you don't need to align yourself here. It looks like I started aligning myself, but you don't need to do that. Now for this one, I do unfocus dash up left and then tap down 3 times with focus, and then do the same thing mirrored. Just keep repeating that. For the next spell, we need the red gauge again. So this is last spell for it, and this is the most important one because it gives a lot of score. We will set up a safe spot in the middle. I first horizontally align myself with the moon once again. The moon is slightly to the left. And then I vertically align myself with Kaguya. So afterwards, now this is the general position, right on top of Kaguya. The safe spot isn't super tight, it's quite big actually. So yeah, now you will need to time this as escape, which is pretty hard. Now you're Yomu and you're not in luck. Your unfocused speed is too fast and focus speed is too slow, and that just makes it harder. So the way you do this is you're first dashing unfocused down, and then halfway on your dash down you start holding focus. Now you can do this completely unfocused as well, but that just makes it harder. So yeah. Now how do you actually get this in? How do you time this in round? How do you not overthink it or something? Well, there are two techniques that I know. The first one is to count. So it goes 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so how do you know when to say 1 and when to say 2? Well, you imagine yourself escaping the very first wave and escaping the very second wave. So I imagine that I would escape now, or I would escape now, and I will escape now, right? That's the first way. And the second way is to focus and watch this beautiful shape and watch how it like folds under itself. And if you do that, and like I watch it and like I nod my head up and down for some reason, and that helps me escape. Alright, so once you escape, remain around here to get a little bit extra grace. I didn't do that because I didn't care at the time, but it's some nice extra grace. Alright, so then you will do unfocus dash here and then start holding focus again, so that the time orbs you get from grazing over here will still keep you at a red gauge. And once you dodge here, you will go here, unfocus dash, and these time orbs that you get from grazing these, they will only reach you by the time you get here. So by the time you get here, you need to start holding focus again. And then you will slowly stream towards this corner. And there's multiple ways to do this. I believe my way is actually not the easiest. So if you're struggling with this post escape part, you might want to look some other replays. So go here and then slowly start going. Now for the next spell we actually need the blue gauge. And there's also another trick here, which is this spell will give us a trickle of time orbs, and we can use our last few time orbs from that trickle. We can actually make them count towards the spell bonus of the final spell, because time orbs, when you collect them, they increase the spell bonus. And if there's a spell bonus when you collect them, the spell bonus gets increased. Now to actually get that, you need to be in the corner here. You need to already be holding the skip dialog button and also hold shoot and let go of focus. And then wait a bit, and then start, just hold up left like that. And when by the time you get back here, you will already have free 35 million SCB, which should be, I think, 1 million increase compared to normal. Now, while this part is easy, just keep unfocused shooting, and once it gets hard, focused on survival. Okay, this death wasn't intentional, don't die here. I was happy because I already knew I got 6 billion, and I lost focus and died. So yeah, once the spell is over and you gain youmu, just move upwards to try to graze a little bit more and start shooting if you have double gauge to get more time orbs. And boom. That's it.